And I'll be the first one to say, especially when I feel, hell, this week, I was feeling some things was happening. And I was like, you know what? That ain't nothing but the devil's. Yeah.
Is it air?
Is it Mercury?
It's not, because it's not just you. No, it's me too. Me, I talk to some other people.
Is this week? Is the
Mercury? Is something, you gotta figure, it's Pluto in the sky. And I just saw something that's unaligned over here because everyone is feeling like,
yes, the devil's on over here. So listen, and I tell that devil, fuck you, nigga.
Yeah.
No, fuck, because no, for real.
No, it's true.
Because he will try you, and if you let him, you will be right here, and he'll take you down. So you know,
Lord of the War was real this week.
I'd be like, you can go to hell, where you came from. Go back, sit, get off my back.
Welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Aunties podcast, where we keep it real, raw,
and relatable, sharing our stories, sharing our experiences,
and our feelings.
Aunties. On today's episode, we're talking about setting us up for success. What are the tools that we use to help us become successful or getting success in life?
Right.
So,
what is success? What is success? What does that look like for some people or most people?
So funny that you say that, because I'm putting out products soon.
Yeah, okay.
A journal, and in it I talk about success. And the thing about success is it's defined by the person. In my opinion, society has a way of defining success, or your mother may have a way of defining, your partner may have a way of defining success. But the reality is, success is really defined by you. It's what you want in life. Because if you try to define it or strive to do or be what society wants you to be, you'll be miserable.
Yeah. But if we had to put some categories around it, so you said it's what it means to you. So I can have a goal of being healthy. I can have a goal of being wealthy. I can have a goal of, and once I've reached those goals, then therefore I feel successful, right? Correct. So,
so financial success, health-wise, some people want career success.
Right. So when you think about it, again, just so you would break it down a little bit further, I guess, success is not measured by everything out there in the universe. It's the things that you set yourself up to accomplish, to achieve. And when you achieve those things, so you could be successful many times, multiple ways.
That's correct.
And again,
it's based on your definition.
Correct.
It doesn't necessarily have to be monetary.
No. But people look at it. They look at it. What kind of car you drive, what kind of house you have, where you're living, how you're dressing maybe, what kind of labels you wear day in and day out. They think, oh, this person have it all because they have all these things. And that doesn't result from the truth. And that person themselves may not feel like they've become successful.
Correct.
They just like, okay, I may have all these things, but I don't necessarily feel successful because I haven't reached the goal that I set for myself. That's individual.
It's just funny. I think sometimes the ones that are very rich and successful, they're more miserable than anybody else because of all the pressures that come with it.
A lot of people, but I don't think all.
Not all of them, but good majority of them.
I mean, I don't even want to quantify it because I don't know. But I mean, because you can get a group of successful millionaires and billionaires that may argue your point. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about because I feel feeling good.
You know what I mean? It's not amazing. But there is some truth to that. Yeah. With the more you have, the different type of pressures you have, because people look at you in a certain way, expect certain things in a certain way.
Yeah.
So like, I'll give a story without naming names, is that, some people I knew was able to accomplish certain things in their lives. And just because they were able to do that, their family members felt like they were beholden to the family to provide for them, when they very well can go out there and get it they got themselves. But no, because you achieve X, Y, and Z, and if I need something, then you should be the one to do it. Or let's just say, if our parent, we all share the same parent, but because you're the most financially stable, you should be the one to provide and make these things happen, versus me feeling like I need to do it because I haven't achieved what you've achieved.
So on the first point of that, there's a thing called black tax, and that's exactly what you...
Okay, I never heard of it. I heard of this term, but right.
So when in the black community, when one person makes it, it's like you have to pay. I don't want to say pay it forward, but you are tasked with maybe it's the guilt, maybe it's just you feel like you're responsible to take care of your family, right? And the term that's but no, wait, but then they also in turn your family has a certain expectation because you did it and because you made it. Where's mine? Right. Yeah, where's mine? Right. So that's interesting because when you talk about success, maybe that person did make it, but I think there's also something to be said about the family members that don't understand what it takes to get to that point.
Yep. That's what they do.
No. I'm here to tell you from experience. She's being traumatized. Girl, no, they don't. And it goes back to the mindset of you have this, you have that.
Hands out. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay. And listen, you guys know I will help people. You know that I love to help people. Yeah. However, I like to help people that also have the ambition and pride to help themselves. Right. Right. So when you're just looking, when there's a certain level of expectation of me, because I got it, that's a problem. That's not going to work because my feeling is like, listen, you can have it too. You can have it. We have the same 24 hours in the day. It's just what I choose to do with it. It's very different what you choose to do with it. And I hate that whole sense of entitlement, that gets under my skin.
Yeah.
Real. What kills me is, as you said, you share information. You have a lot of people that don't do that. So if someone is giving you the information and you choose not to use it,
that's on you.
That's on you.
Don't expect me to say, just willingly give you things that I've given you some tools and resources and you haven't taken those tools and resources, like you said, used them. Don't come back to me asking me to give you.
That's right.
Because you haven't even shown and proved that I can even get you to the next step because you haven't even taken the first step.
Absolutely. It's that old saying, you can give a man a fish or eat for a day, but you teach a man how to fish, he's going to eat for life. He's going to know what to do. So that's the other frustration thing is when you do give people the tools, but they just want, we live in that microwave society. I want it right now. I got to have it.
She said microwave.
Didn't the pastor get dragged through the mud for saying, I think it was because he was saying, before you give the next man, a person on the street begging for $1, you should tithe?
That's it. I'm not sure.
Did you hear that?
I did hear it. I just don't know which pastor it was.
The concept is similar, somewhat similar, but not exactly. So to your point what was the thing you said? You
give a man a fish, he's going to eat for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, right, he's going to eat forever.
So I don't agree with the whole thing of not giving a homeless something, right? Mm-hmm. And you should tithe first. Because there's people that's tithing and they don't really can't afford to tithe. But the church say do so, right?
Well, so you going, girl, they going to tap them Christians very before you don't. Them Christians, they don't think.
Listen, you give what you got. When you give what you can, give what you can. Give what you can. But when they start coming out there with that tray 3 and 4 times, talking about we only got so and so dollars, we can do better. Come on now.
Man, I got
come from me if you want to. So I don't care.
So y'all know that I give to the church, right? But at the same time, it's about giving what you can.
Giving what you
but I also know that people, the Bible thumpers will be with me on this, and then the folks that won't, they won't, right? But either way, I don't care about that. Listen, I also know there's something to be said when you do tithe that it comes back.
It does.
It comes back.
I've also said I don't struggle, but what I'm saying is this. Don't be coming out there and talking about this is what we raised. We could do better. The people gave what they can give. Accept it.
Mm-hmm.
They tithe. Yeah. And they're going to get in return what they was able to give, right? So moving on.
Well, I do want to say one thing about that. No, because listen, with the churches, and I know we're so off. No, whatever. We make this what we want. But, the church that I went to for many, many years, there's one thing about going to a church and the pastor's driving fly cars and the wife looks good and everything like that. But there's something else to be said about church when they actually take the money and they do something with the church that I go, they're literally providing housing for they built a whole housing for in New Rochelle. And that's, you know what I'm saying? That's something that I could be proud of.
Exactly. I could be part of this church that I go to, that I'm tied into, because I see what they're doing with the dollars. When you get to see what they're doing with those dollars, then I've been to a church where they talking about we sending the pastor and his wife on a freaking anniversary trip, and they both working while they pastors too. Why am I doing that? Why is my money? We're not going to go down that path. So to that, let's get back to our topic here. So what are some tools that you use to be successful? What are the kind of things that you use?
Charlie, you want to go?
Google Calendar. Everything that I have to do, that I want to do, that I'm scheduled to do is in that calendar.
Yep.
I get notified so I'm never behind on anything. It just keeps me at bay. I need to know what's happening every morning that I get up, and I usually review so I can plan my day out accordingly. If I didn't do that, I'd be lost, because procrastination, unfortunately, is still an evil spirit that lingers with me.
Got us in the hole.
Exactly.
Yeah, procrastination is the devil. So
Yes. Devil is a liar.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
But one tool, as I mentioned in a previous podcast, I need to be more open to journalizing again. Because there are days that even though I'm using the calendar, I'm getting...
Journalizing, is that a word?
let's look it up. We know she meant journaling.
Journalizing, you say, hey.
Girl, let's look it up.
No, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Journalizing?
Let's see, nigga. Go ahead, keep going, okay? I love to say it. I just need to get back into doing that, because there's days that even though I'm using a planner, I'm getting through the day, every morning I'm not waking up as my best. I have to force myself. So I think journalizing would help me get my...
It is a word, and I stand corrected. Journalizing is a real word.
Yes, it is.
I just need to know, because I never heard
It's actually an accounting term.
that's what I knew it for. But you're not the right. That's what
Oh.
But you're right. It says accounting. Yes. Good job. See, I say when I'm,
So I just never heard you use that word before.
not in that way, but you know what it makes
There's
sense.
lots of things. I'm one way with you guys, but I'm totally different when I'm at work.
For sure.
So-
But you know that you mentioned that before you get back into it. I just want to say, because you're right, journalizing and accounting, yes, that resonates with me. But journalizing and in a way that what you're using it for, it totally makes sense, because when you put journal entries in the accounting, it's the same thing. I just never draw the correlation. Yeah, thank you.
Makes sense. We learned something new here.
Yeah, so that makes absolute sense. But carry on.
So as I said, by me doing that, it'll probably help me tone my feelings throughout the day.
Gotta get out your system.
Yes, yeah. I just haven't figured out whether to do it in the morning or in the evenings, which I think in the evenings would probably be better, because then now I go to sleep with my shoulders lightened and I wake up refreshed in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, so there's different ways you could do it. You could do them both. You could do both.
Yeah, whenever the mood strikes you, I was going to say, whenever you feel you need to just write. And it doesn't always have to be in the same medium. It could be a book. It could be on your phone. It could be wherever. It could be voice. It could be wherever. It's just getting it out. So that's just so that's a tool you're using to be successful calendar, and you're going to get back to journaling.
And prayer.
Definitely.
I pray every morning.
Yeah. Yes.
Which was something that I stepped back from for a while. And I'm still looking for a church. I have not been able to find a successful one.
Gotta go test drive a few.
Yeah, I have. And that's why I said I had a story, because I thought I found one. And first time there, I still decided to give some tithe. And they immediately came up to the front after I gave with the credit card machine, looking for me to give more.
Wow.
They weren't satisfied, and they actually called me out.
What?
On the $50 that I gave.
Wow.
Never been there before.
That is it for me to blasphemy.
Okay.
And I just looked at them.
That is crazy.
I put my things up and I calmly walked out.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
No, that's insane. That's insane.
I have not tried or went to another church since that.
But don't let that taint.
No, it's not. It's bothering me, but I've to quite a few of them.
Praise area
Already. Wow, I have not. And the one that I did find, I went there for almost 2 years, and the pastor decided to take a job in Atlanta. So him and his wife left.
And then they went to, and both, okay.
And the new pastor that they had there, I just wasn't happy. I tried to stick it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's why whoever they got to replace him didn't do a good job. And I was like, damn, I finally found someplace. I was enjoying it. The music was just uplifting.
But you know what?
Church is what you make it.
Sure, you can have church right up in here.
Yeah.
Right? So you can like, yes, it's good to fellowship with others, but at the same time, you could just be sitting with yourself and speaking to God and just laying all your stuff out, asking for help, and even in your journal. I mean, you could play your gospel music. I got a good gospel playlist, child. You could do share it, because that stuff makes you. It gives you the feeling. It's energy. Yes, and so you definitely keep doing that. And yes, go to find a church, but don't just know you can still have it come to it right here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just trying to find some place to go on a Sunday morning. As you guys know, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. So
it's different.
It is a lot different. But my mom is not happy I haven't come back, but she at least wants me to find some place to go. Still studying the Bible. Okay. So yes, Mommy, I still read my Bible that you gave me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good. I just want to find some place. The one thing that I didn't like about the Jehovah's Witness was the music. It was always dull and boring.
Yeah, she leads me. So you like,
I like places where the music is uplifting and brings you happy place. Yeah. It lets you release. Not I understand that the Holy Ghost.
But I mean,
you know that woman. There come, honey. So what about you, Kira? What tools are you using?
So I'm going to talk about the journal, right? Because that's something that is near and dear to me, and it definitely has helped me for a number of different reasons, right? So it helps me to realize certain patterns that I have that I either need to keep going because they're helping me to thrive, or patterns that are bad that I need to be like, okay, girl, reel it in. But you don't know that unless it's documented and you can flip back and say, you know what? This was a situation. I did the same thing. This is a different situation, but I acted the same way. So you start to learn those repetitive patterns, and then it helps you to figure out how to work on that, right? So I love it for that. I love it for my goals. So we're talking about being successful, so that I can document, okay, this is the goal. And the journal that I actually created, it helps you to not only capture your goals from vision, but to action plan, to even and then you have the piece where you can journal, traditional journal, and then it has affirmations, right? So it helps me in so many ways in staying focused on the different goals that I have, to make sure that whatever action plans that I have to take towards those goals, I'm actually taking. Because when I open it up, I see it's right there.
Yeah.
To your point, I got to have everything on my calendar. So I make it a point, even in using the journal, it's like the first thing I need to do, right? When I wake up.
Let me interrupt you. I actually learned from you. When I say this woman was the Messiah, my hunt of using her journal, like she would not make any plans with anyone.
My planner. Yeah.
So she looked in her planner, and that's where I got it from.
Yeah, because it keeps you, especially when you have so much going on.
Absolutely.
So that piece, and then everything in terms of success, just anchoring on that, making sure that the things that I'm consuming keeps me focused. So it, not only from TV, not only from the people I keep company with, because sometimes people could be drained on you, and I can't do that. So I even if I love those individuals, sometimes I have to. It just has to be measured, and it's for my own sanity in terms of how much time I spend with them. So I can't deal with the drainer. So I have to make sure that, again, that's all about consumption, the energies, and making sure that any energy that I have, it's more in a positive light, so I can stay focused, right, on what. And then I like to surround myself with people that are doing better than me, because they inspire me. And not only that, sometimes I get inspiration from everybody, even the person that's trying. That person inspires me because I could see my younger self in that individual. So I try to just, with my consumption, keep it light. I try to make sure from, again, any success, any goal you have, really focusing on my health, because if you're dead, what you gonna do? What kind of goal you gonna achieve? Right? So you gotta keep that, that your body moving and making sure that you're doing the right things there. And then again, I lean on the affirmations piece too, because it's very easy for you to go down a rabbit hole feeling defeated. It's very easy for you to second guess yourself. I don't care how successful you are, imposter syndrome will come and creep up on you. It's like a shadow, so you got to be like, boom, back, boom, just knock it out. You know what I mean? It takes time. But yeah, you gotta, those affirmations. And I'll be the first one to say, especially when I feel, hell, this week, I was feeling some things was happening. And I was like, you know what? That ain't nothing but the devil's. Yeah.
Is it air?
Is it Mercury? That's not, because it's not just you.
No, it's me too.
I talked to some other people.
Is this week? Is the Mercury?
Is something, you gotta figure, it's Pluto in the sign. And I saw something that's unaligned over here. here because everyone is feeling like,
yes, the devil's on over here. Listen, and I tell that devil, fuck you, nigga.
yeah.
No, fuck, because no, for real.
No, it's true.
Because he will try you, and if you let him, you'll be right here, and he'll take you down. So you know,
Lord of the War was real this week.
I'd be like, you can go to hell, where you came from. Go back, sit, get off my back.
Yeah.
So I try to, again, positive, just reinforcement, being around positive people, music.
Yes.
I think the other tools, so those are tools that are tangible and intangible, right? But also, I think the biggest tool you can do, the biggest thing you could do in terms of being successful, whatever that means to you, is having the proper mindset. So I do everything that allows me to maintain that mindset. Yeah. And then that's what I just described, the journaling, the consumption of positive, all of that. Because if you don't have the right mindset, you ain't going there.
Yep, I agree with that 100%. Because that's how I tend to start my day now, with something positive, spiritual, or otherwise. So it's either having a moment of worship in the morning or prayer in the morning. I ain't go to sleep sometimes. So I've developed a bad habit again of having my TV on. But what I decided to do with that, instead of having some random show on, I'll put YouTube on, and it'll have, prayer, like 2 or 3 hours worth of prayer. So I go to sleep with that. Hopefully that's helping to ease my mind, especially given this freaking trying week. I think it's been actually 2 weeks actually I've been having. So mine has been worship and just spending some time with God in the morning. Definitely calendaring, which I wasn't good at before, but I realized how much I need it in my life now. Yeah. Because I was a fly-by-night person. I just went with the wind. But as a real adult now, my real adult age, putting stuff on the calendar and knowing what I'm doing every minute, every day and forward is helping me, writing things down and checking off my list. So yeah, I've been kind of sure to do that, even though I still have to write stuff down. Yeah. Because if I see it physically in front of me, and I always don't have my phone with me, or I don't always have my notebook with me, I keep multiple lists around, and I'll go and I check those things off, and I'll go back and look and see if there's something I need to carry over. And as long as I'm getting those things checked off, it does feel good.
Yeah. It's an endorphin. It's that endorphin.
I did that. And some things you think you didn't do, when you go to do the checklist, you're like, oh, I did. That's it. So yeah, I love those little surprises. So those are the kind of things that I do. And to your point, the consumption, what I've been consuming for myself is like, things help me start, because I do start and stop sometimes. So stopping that start and stop things so I can keep going. Yeah. I've recently learned, like, try not to put so much, like break things down, micro bites or what. Okay. So I was one to put everything on the list, and I'm going to get everything done. And then I don't, I get frustrated, I get mad, and I feel like a failure, honestly. So now I'm learning to break things down into little micro pieces and tackling those things. Like, if I know I want to get here, and this is something you've always talked about, if I know I want to get here, what are the things I need to do to get there? I can't just jump. That's right. So break those little things down. So I've been doing those kinds of.
But also keeping it on your list is a constant reminder that it has to get done.
Oh yeah, that's why I say I go back and look and see what I didn't do or didn't do, and I'll bring it over to my new list. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't go away until it's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about procrastination, because y'all brought it up a couple of times, and I can definitely for evil.
Yes.
Yeah. That ain't money. No.
Well, hang on about money now. I don't know if money, because damn it, money. Listen,
it depends. Money is not evil. It's just like a person who has a gun. It's not the person who has the gun. It's not the gun. It's the person, right? That's the same thing with money. It's not the money. That's correct. So
it's money. Money's an enabler, and good or bad. Yes, because when you got money, you got a little bit of freedom.
Yes.
When you don't have money, sometimes you're not as free.
Right.
And y'all can call, because you get so there's this thing now, especially with the Gen Z population and some millennials, where they're like consumerism and capitalism and this and this and that, and they're like, oh, down with the rich, and I'm just like, so the Bastille.
For the most part, the rich haven't done any. I won't say not all, because stuff happens for them to get rich, or they use their rich to do certain things that are not good.
Correct.
But they're not all bad.
They're not all bad.
We got to stop. We got to get out of this thing of saying all and
generalizing. Yes, everyone. You're absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. But, because sometimes procrastination, I don't know if I should say what it is.
Go ahead, say it.
But there was this quote that I had gotten years ago, but it's like procrastination is like masturbation. You keep, no. You keep doing it.
I understand.
Procrastination is like masturbation. The more you do it, you're only fucking yourself.
Yeah.
And but it's the truth.
I like that.
It sounds crazy. But it's the truth.
Yeah.
When I thought about it, I don't know where I got it from, where I read it, but it was like, I had to let it sit with me. I was like,
It makes sense to me.
that is absolutely true. Because the longer you wait and take, you only screwing yourself over.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, sometimes people procrastinate because they want things to be perfect. So they're like, oh, these things got to get into play.
Yeah.
And I'm more of the lines of, if you try to chase perfection, that kind of creates this aura of failure that's looming over you, right? So you got to the progress you take is what you need.
Yeah. I've admittedly been stuck in that phase multiple times where I want everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
Knowing at the end of the day, it's not going to always be right.
No.
So whatever you believe in your mind, right, is something is going to, I don't want to say something's going to happen. Something could possibly happen. Yeah, it's going to cause you to shift and pivot or adjust, whatever. Pivot, adjust means the same thing, right? But in any case, I was one who would get stuck into that hole of this is not working, this is not working. I need this piece, I need that piece. I need to put all the pieces together. And I delayed in getting things done. I mean, they get done, but it's very delayed. I was going to also say, sometimes, and I don't want to mix procrastination up with patience, but sometimes patience is also important too. Like, these doesn't have to be done immediately. That is true, but you can't mix the two. People try to say, oh, I'm just being patient. No, you're procrastinating. And that's correct. It's different than being patient.
And I think, now I tell myself, instead of chasing that perfection, just focus on that 1%. Like, just keep getting 1% better, 1%. If you want to get 10% better, whatever you created, whatever you did, just try to focus on getting that 10%. Not that impossible. 100% it got to be this way. Yeah. Just those increments, because guess what? You'll get to a point where you're not going to be at the starting point. And that's progress.
Yes.
Right. So, so that's what I also do, and which has helped me even with success. Right. Because sometimes there's that nasty comparison that people tend to do, depending on whatever endeavor you want. Pick a goal you have. And you see other people, maybe within your circle that have it, maybe it's your friends that have it, and you're like, dang, I ain't getting there yet. That's that comparison.
Well, if you ain't sorry, how you expect to get there?
You have to see it, but you can't expect. Here's the thing. It's okay. How can I say this? Like, instead of comparing, right? And how they say the comparison is the thief of joy, and envy is the thief of joy.
It's true.
I say use the comparison piece to inspire you, right? So because you don't know what happened behind the scenes for that person to get to where they're at.
Absolutely.
There could be a million steps. All you see is the outcome, and that's why I mentioned that we live in a microwave society. We got to have it right now, served up to us. We want it instantaneously. Press the buttons, and that is not real life.
Yeah, very true.
And also social media plays a part of that too. Bio get into the end of that. But so I just think for those that are procrastinating, don't do that, because you're only screwing yourself over. Try to just take the step.
So are there any other, outside of the Google Calendar, are there any other apps you use to be successful or achieve or accomplish your goals?
Notion's and
I know, I was looking into that. I keep hearing it and I need to look into it. I'm hearing about that.
I like Notion.
It's similar, it's like a calendar journal kind of thing. It's setting.
Yeah, like everything. It has a bunch of different features, and I still consider myself a novice with it, because I've only been using it for a year, but not consistently. But I like it because it gives you everything, but you just have to customize your templates. So that's very helpful.
Okay.
Prior to that, I used to use an app called Asana.
Asana.
That's pretty cool too. But here's the deal. You can use all these different apps, but they're only as good as what you're using. If you're not using it consistently, it's not gonna work for you.
Same thing with the calendar. Same thing with the calendar. Yeah. The calendar and you missed your appointment. What was the point of putting it in the calendar? Right? Same thing. So the tools are good. So do you feel like when you're working on a task, you have to just stay in that task until it gets done? Or do you okay, let me step away for a minute, come back to it, break it up so you can get it done? Because sometimes I feel like, for me, if I'm working on a document, something I'm writing, and I'm sitting there writing, I go back and I edit, right. The longer I sit there and pick at it, I'm going to keep finding things I need to change. So I kind of step away and come back to it. That's just an example.
It all depends on what it is. But for the most part, my mind doesn't work that way. I'm multitasking. I'm working on like 6 different projects at one time.
Do you find that to be helpful or not?
It's helpful in some ways. If I have a deadline, then no, I may stay on task until it gets done so I can get it out the way. Because usually if it has a deadline, that means I got to get it done by a certain date.
Mm-hmm.
And that's priority over everything else. So it all depends on how you prioritize your activities. So
yeah.
But I'm usually working on 6 different things at one time. I work on it. I've dedicated an hour to this. I got to move on to the next.
Okay.
And then I'll come back. Because once you walk away from it, it helps you to, I'm thinking about it as I'm moving on to the next thing. And then if I come up with an idea, I may jump back onto it just to get it down so I don't forget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. I think also to your point, there's an app for that to keep it in task. Pomodoro. So the Pomodoros and everything it up. Yeah. There might be the ticker is it's a timer. Yes. That you can you could bring to help you to stay on task or get off task. Mm-hmm. But I think the other thing too is so doing the tasks is one thing. I think that sometimes we tend to do the easier tasks first to try to get them out the way. Mm-hmm. Whereas I used to be like that. Mm-hmm. But now I take the approach of eat the frog, right? So the first thing in the morning, do the thing that's going to be the most daunting. Mm-hmm. Just get it out the way because there is that sense of accomplishment. Mm-hmm. Because what happens is when you keep doing the little things that's, it's going to take me 15 minutes. Oh, it's going to take, you got that big thing.
Yeah, I keep 4 or 5 hours.
And then the next thing you know, yeah, exactly. So just eat the frog, get it done, get it out the way, boom. Yeah. And now you onto the menial task.
Yeah, I do a similar thing to the Pomodoro. I had a fun fact on here about that actually, but I do something similar to that. It's not necessarily 25 minutes. It depends on how big the project is. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I will say, okay, I'm going to spend an hour or 2 on this, leave it, come back and go spend an hour or 2 on something else. Because it depends on how big the thing that have to get done and how the importance of how they need the eggs. And I'll do that. So I do try to break it up to stop from multitasking because I was a big time multitasker too. Mm-hmm. And I felt like that wasn't benefiting me because I felt like my brain wasn't focused because I'm so busy trying to do more than one thing at a time. I couldn't really give this one thing my all because I'm trying to do this, and this versus give this one thing my all in 1 or 2 hours, leave it, even if I don't complete everything that I have to complete and then come back to it later, but then go to the next thing that I want to spend some time with and do that. So this way I'm actually focused and I'm dedicating all my energy towards that one thing. And I felt more accomplished than trying to do more things at one time. So
I have a question for you guys. Yeah. What do you think? I have my crazy question. Right. So what do you think are your most valuable asset?
Can you elaborate when you say valuable assets? What do you mean?
Whatever you deem as the asset that you have. It could be anything.
My time.
Okay.
My time is valuable to me. Because are you talking about tangible?
Well, that's it. That's why I started. I specifically asked a question and I don't want to define it because I need. So it could be anything you deem as valuable. It could be tangible or intangible.
Well, intangible is my time because my time has become more precious to me than ever before. Because like I said before, I was just fly by night person, but I found that wasn't benefiting me. I found that was adding frustration to my life for me. And then I would sometimes lash out on the wrong people because of how I set myself up.
Yeah.
So time for me is valuable.
Okay.
Tangible, my family. I don't know if you call them tangible, but they physical. My family, my loved ones, my closest friends. Those are valuable because it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Family means a lot to me. And it's something that's right now not where I wanted to
be. Okay.
Not just my immediate family. I'm talking about my whole
family.
It's not what it used to be when our elders was here. They're gone and people are acting.
That happens. That happens. But you know what? I hate it. But I want you to answer, but I just want to say something about that. That happens, but I am of the mind where we cannot control other people. So if I want to create that same loving and nurturing environment that, let's say, my grandparents or my grandmother or whomever, just that feel good feeling, it's up to me to create. And if I have to do that with my own nucleus of immediate family, fine. And I can do it with my sister, my brother, fine. If some of my cousins, not all you motherfuckers, but some, I'm gonna call it like it is, but
No, I get it.
But because you cannot control everyone else, and you'll drive yourself crazy trying to they'll either get on board or they won't.
Yeah.
You got to protect your energy. I
get it. I 100% get it.
My energy. Okay. Which energy and time work with each other.
Okay.
Because if my sanity is not in check, I can't give anybody my time.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I agree with Janine. Family.
I just will ask that. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wish that family time and just my overall extended and immediate family was closer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not where it used to be. It seemed like once my dad died, everybody went their separate ways, at least with the extended family that I used to interact with all the time. And my immediate family, as I said, is not where it should be. Everybody is in their own world, doing their own thing, and trying to get us to at least be in the same room at any given time for at least a couple of hours has been a task. So,
okay.
That's it. I just want to say one thing. Don't get me wrong. I like a nice bank account. I love my home. I like the fact that I have a car. But you say those are what you call things that can come and go.
yes. You can't take it with you.
Right.
So I would say, I asked myself that question, which is why I'm asking you that question, right? So the things that I had to sit with it for a minute. And I said, you know what? Some of my most valuable assets are not tangible, right? I may not own my reputation, but because people could think what they want.
Absolutely.
Is that right? However, it is a valuable asset. My reputation is still valuable, right? You can't buy trust. So the trust that people instill within me,
I agree.
that is a valuable asset.
Yes.
And you know what? I can't sell the energy that I bring to others. I can't sell, how I inspire people. That is not something, it's intangible, but I know that is my superpower. So to me, all of those things are worth more than what's in my bank account.
Absolutely.
But I would argue that all of those things help increase my bank account one way or another, somehow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, and of course, my family, everything that I do,
This is for them.
for my kids. And, so they, and you've heard me say it more times, like they've helped inspire me or push me to, even through fear, achieve some of the things that I have today. Even just walking, like I'm scared as shit, but I'm going to get this done because I got these they're not little anymore, but I got these people looking up at me and I want to be the example for them. So those are the things that have been the assets that I have. Yeah.
I know. I agree with you. I mean, even with the energy, I think you can tag time to that.
Yep.
Because your time, the energy you put into certain people is your time and it's valuable. So I think those are really good assets. What else do we have?
I think one thing I want to say is so what are one of the things that you, in order to achieve success, what is one thing that you can pin yourself on in terms of enabling you to do it? One thing you can do that will help you. One mindset, one thought to get, that's anything. So I'm not asking this shit, right? But what is one thing from a thought process that you can give to our audience that will help them achieve success?
Be realistic and honest with yourself. Set realistic goals. But understand where you're at in the process, and then just be real about it. So don't take off more than you can chew, but also don't let fear stop you. Like you said, don't let fear stop you. But I say start with yourself and being honest and truthful with yourself. And I always say this, don't make empty promises to yourself.
Okay.
If you say you're going to do something, commit and do it.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, you said exactly. I wouldn't have said it exactly as eloquently as you, but yes, I agree with everything you just said.
Okay.
Along with meditation.
Okay. I will say aim to live a life without regret.
Yes.
Because
you only got one life to live.
You only got one life to live. You don't want to be at your deathbed talking, I wish I should have, I did it, I died. I read something somewhere where it says regret compounds faster than wealth. And that is so true, right? And every time you say, I'll do it later, or I can put that off, or I'm not sure because I'm scared or whatever, that costs you interest.
That's the notion.
It is. And it also goes on to say, regret doesn't stop growing until you do something about it. So start now. Don't live a life of regrets. If you've got something that you want to do, regardless of what your partner says, your mama says, society says, go out and do it. Achieve your own success by your own means, because it's your life. You define it, and no one else can do that for you. And there will always be naysayers, but they don't live your life. So you need to go out.
They ain't paying your bills. They ain't the sap and
what? They got a lot. There's always the people that say something is impossible, or those that are incapable. And don't let that be you. That's all I gotta say.
Jesus. I agree. I have nothing else to say behind that. Nothing else to say behind that.
We're good?
So, yeah.
Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Till next time. And listen, guys, I love the fact that you guys watch this podcast. Please continue to watch it. If you found this to be valuable for you, please share it. It helps us to grow.
Yeah.
Like, share, comment. We want to hear about some of the tools that you use to enable you to have success in your life. So please feel free to share it. And we're going to keep bringing you this content, because you know what? We feel, even though we joke around a lot, we feel that there's messages, and collectively we've lived lives, we've lived a number of different years.
Yes.
That there's some experiences that we have that can potentially help you. So and we want to hear about your experiences too. So feel free to like, share, subscribe. And until next time, kisses.